Good morning, class. Have you guys ever wanted to be a superhero? And by superhero, I don't exactly mean like Superman, Iron Man, you name it. I mean more like of a doctor, police officer, firefighter, someone who saves lives, right? Well, I'm here to tell you that you are more than welcome to be a hero, and I want you to imagine me collapsing right now, completely unconscious, no pulse, nothing. Hopefully one of you guys would call 911 and help me out here. But in the process of us waiting for help, most of us would feel helpless, I'm sure, just kind of stare at me, converse, or Snapchat me, I don't know. However, how about if I tell you that you can actually help my chances of survival at least 60% higher than if you wouldn't. And therefore, today I'm going to highlight what CPR is, how you can get certified, and most importantly, the benefits of it. So CPR stands for cardiopulmonary resuscitation. Cardio means heart, pulmonary means lungs, and resuscitation means bring back to life, so go figure. According to the American Heart Association, CPR is an emergency life-saving procedure that is done when someone's breathing or heartbeat has stopped. This may happen after an electric shock, heart attack, or drowning. So CPR combines rescue breathing and chest compressions. So CPR, what you want to, I'm not going to go over all this stuff because that's why you get certified, but just to breeze on it, you would want to check if the person is conscious and make sure it's not falling asleep. And if you are CPR certified, you want to ask someone to call 911 for you. And if you're in a situation where you don't have anyone around you, it's just you and the victim, you are required to do CPR first for 2 minutes and then call 911. But if you are in a situation where there are other people, then you have to ask someone to call 911. Then you would start to do your compressions, which is 30 compressions and 2 breaths. According to Mayo Clinic, do chest compressions at a rate of 100 a minute, like the VJ song, Staying Alive, which our professor currently cited 2 weeks ago, I think. And there are different methods in CPR. It depends on the age. For an infant, about newborn to 1-year-old, there's a certain alignment that you have to put, like for the baby, it's the nipple line with 2 fingers, and the breath, you would have to cover the mouth and the nose. And then for toddler ages 2 to 8, then you would use basically the palm of your hand to do the 30 compressions and just 30 compressions. And for an adult, it would be the 2 hands. But I'm not going to get into details too much because that's why you would get certified. And bringing that up, it brings my next point, how to get certified. Personally, I got certified through an ROP class. It was sports and medicine. So that's just one option if you want to get certified. But I'm here at the college as well. They offer a sports and medicine class, and you can get certified there too. Besides that, you can also get certified, registered at least, at the American Heart Association, the Red Cross, the YMCA, and hospitals. According to the American Heart Association, the average cost of CPR is $50. It ranges on the facility, the quality of the material that's given to you. It's usually like a textbook, additional resources, etc. However, that is no excuse for you to not get certified, because as I was researching, you can actually get CPR certified for free online. And the Critical Care Training Center offers free CPR certification, online classes, or face-to-face classes. So that is no excuse, you guys. Finally, I'm going to talk about the benefits of CPR. So, not to mention just, you get a higher chance of survival. You can double or triple the chances of a victim's survival. Again, the American Heart Association states that only 32% of cardiac arrest victims get CPR from a bystander. So that means that we need more people to get CPR certified. And it looks really good on a job application. It really, it takes your application to another level. And it's good to have, and also hospitals, if you ever volunteer at a hospital or anything, and it's actually required to be CPR certified. The way I see it is that you have to look at it every aspect. Guys, you have a higher chance of making contact with a hot woman, and a woman, you get contact with a hot man. Okay? So, you have to see it on every aspect. So to conclude, now that I have explained what CPR is, how you can get certified, and the benefits, I believe that anyone can learn CPR and everyone should. Again, the American Heart Association mentions that sadly 70% of Americans may feel helpless to act during a cardiac emergency because they either do not know how to administer CPR or their training has significantly lapsed. This alarming statistic can hit close to home because they also mentioned that home is exactly where 88% of cardiac arrests occur. So put it very simply, the life you save of the CPR is mostly likely someone you love. So instead of taking that hour a day and looking over your social media, take that hour a day and get yourself signed up for a CPR course, either online or face-to-face. Thank you.
Jacob, what did you think?
All right, I'd like to lead into your speech. It tied in very well with what you were about to talk about with CPR. You outlined your speech very nicely in the beginning, and you transitioned well between the topics. You showed confidence in your speech. I didn't really see you fiddling with your fingers or walking around all over the place, so I thought it was nice.
Sorry.
But you gave us some personal relations, kind of how like CPR can relate to us and what it means to people for helping save lives. You did talk on a personal level. It didn't sound like you were just giving a speech, and you didn't really look down to your papers that often, except for when you had to give a quote. And I thought that was very nice, being able to, as an audience, view you as a talker and a personal level rather than just somebody standing up in front talking about what they're doing. So I thought you did very well.
Okay, I'll echo those comments for the most part, with maybe just a couple of exceptions. And again, everybody focuses on the negative things. I probably didn't hear all the nice things that I said before about Christian's speech. I said a lot of good things about the speech, but all anybody's going to remember is the other thing. Sorry. Like he said, 90% of the time you're good with your eye contact, and 90% of the time you don't have any distracting exhibits of nervousness or anything like that. But there were 2 times during the presentation when you did have each of those things going on a little bit. It seemed like you looked down at your notes at one point, got a little bit involved, started reading that, and just kind of fell into that habit. And then you got out of it again and came back to us, but there was a spot where you kind of got taken out of the speech just for a minute. And toward the end, the same sort of thing that happened earlier, the feet got a little bit nervous, which was strange because it wasn't that way most of the speech, but maybe the last quarter of the speech, there are a couple of spots where it just looked like you were a little uncertain And you know, maybe you're anticipating the end, that sort of thing. Like I said, not a big deal, but they were noticeable. So that's a place where I would disagree with him a little bit. On the other hand, most of the other things I would agree with a lot. You usually look at us, you sound engaged, like you are interested in what you're talking about. You've got some experience that you use to share with us based on those kinds of things. I do think that you know that there's a problem with spending too much time on all the procedural stuff of trying to describe what happens when you're doing CPR and those types of things. You know that's a problem, and yet you'd spent 2 minutes talking about those kinds of things. So it seems to me like there would be, those are opportunities to maybe give us some more emotional examples. Like at the end when you say 80% of the time it's somebody at home, it's somebody that you know and probably love that you're going to be doing this for. That would be one of those places where we could have gone with a story about somebody who felt awful because they weren't able to do anything, they felt helpless, or have the positive visualization, somebody who actually stepped in. I'm so glad I took that CPR class, because when my mother collapsed here and I thought I was going to lose her, and then I remembered my CPR training, I did that kind of thing and we revived her, and she's been around another 10 years, and boy, am I so happy about that. Those kinds of things are a little bit more emotionally engaging, and they fit with the theme that you're talking about, which is that we ought to learn this, not I'm going to show you how to do this. So there's a little bit of that. All right, thank you.